Thank you. And in particular about victims, later victims, and as you know, the Chernobyl follow-up is not the only problem the lovely country of Ukraine is suffering from these days. But now, please give a warm welcome applause to Sergiy Zibtsev. Please.
Thank you very much. And I'm happy to be here, and thanks organizers to invite me and also my family. And this is a good actually chance to get some information and knowledge and ideas from outside. Yesterday I was very happy with Mr. President's speech, because we are here in Ukraine, for example, working with this Chernobyl issue, facing many problems and difficulties and barriers. And I personally hear the message from him that we should continue, not to stop, not to allow other people or powers to destroy these plants, to bring sustainability and protection of environment. And so for me it was very good message, and I was happy. So this is a long title of my presentation, and this actually I will tell shortly about last 12 years of my efforts towards more sustainability and safety in Chernobyl exclusion zone. And I'm glad to represent my partner and Dr. Johan Goldhammer, who's, please Johan, raise your hand. Yes, it's here. And coincidentally, yesterday the mayor told that Freiburg is famous with the most sunny city in Germany. But also Freiburg is famous as a place where located global fire monitoring center. If you will ask any people who related to wildfires about the Freiburg, they immediately tell you about the Global Fire Monitoring Center. And so we are working together on this. Very shortly, the problem that everybody, when talking about the Chernobyl, they're talking about sarcophague, about the nuclear power plant. And you see this is 2007 and this 2003, the pipe, and now it's saved, it's closed. And it's very expensive to put it under the ruined sarcophague, because it's cost more than $1 billion only this construction itself. And so my message that when we are thinking about nuclear power plants, we should to think about potential risks and costs, because we calculate, okay, nuclear power plant is much more efficient, cost efficient than coal burning power plants or whatever. Then if you can calculate these costs, it's not so effective, cost effective. And then nobody actually calculate well the cost and efforts and human efforts and resources which were spent before 2017 from 86. And so we are always, just to get impression, we compare the exclusion zone with one of the European country to get impression of this size. And I would like to tell you that this is a regional problem, and this is not only problem of that area of 2,600 square kilometer, but much larger, around maybe 1-2 million hectares. And so this is a case, my talk actually, how to deal with this kind of regional crisis zone. And you see there's a huge perimeter of the zone, no population except staff allowed to be there. Chernobyl nuclear power plant, many radioactive waste sites and the management sites. Personnel. And now you see the paradox of Chernobyl. This is the city of Chernobyl. And the staff personnel has their lunch. And after lunch, they feed the wildlife, who is also coming. So this is a mixture of wildlife. In US, they're talking about urban wildlife interface. And in Chernobyl, it's very much, because we have a lot of population there. Population grows on contaminated area. This is a paradox. And this is a paradox of zone. And then we have these dynamic processes in ecosystems, in forests. And they're just dying, not because of radiation, just because of no management there. And the fires. And the fires, the dangers of fires, the contamination that stored in this forest, they are stored in the forest. Then as forest burn, the contamination is go outside of forest. And so what happens actually with the people, our concern is the people who fight fires there. And also this fire of April 2015, actually the smoke crossed the border of Belarus and crossed actually many borders and bring some radionuclides, cesium and strontium, outside of exclusion zone, outside of Ukraine, outside of Eastern Europe. So it was not really a large concentration, it was small, but fact that we have a regional contamination in fires like this. And it happens. So actually what in 2005 we started to work on this and understand that first of all we should have a research to understand these risks, and we need some technical solution, we need legislation, no legislation, good legislation in place, regulation and policy in terms of fire management. We need a capacity building and training, and first barriers was lack of funding because government not able to really provide a good funding for the improving of fire management. And also they are not considered this is a problem, government. And so what we started to raise awareness. And from my point of view, the three things for this kind of regional crisis territories should be done is first of all research, second the capacity building, and third that awareness. And so we started with research, and we invited top organization to do modeling, to do research, to get more funding, and actually to understand what happens now and what will happen in 50 years, for example, because you will see that exclusion zone is for thousands of years, so we need long-term solutions. And and this actually, this is a radioactive contamination in '86. Now it's much better, but here is the most contaminated areas, and the fire, concern of fire. And then you see the many fires actually is going on. We didn't know this, and government didn't know this. But then we can take a look on this territory. Many fires. And this fire of '92, big fire. And unfortunately, no lesson learned. And so we had 2 large fires in 2015. And we have a big fire in 2016. This is a nuclear power plant here, 2016. So no. And this is a 2003 fire outside of exclusion zone, and this blowing smoke on Kiev. So this was actually simple scientific analysis, allow us to understand that fire is there, ignition source is there, and this is a complicated dynamic of weather, of vegetation dynamic, of capacity of nuclear power plants, nuclear fire management. And that's, I talked about this. In core zone of Chernobyl, the contamination half life of plutonium would be 24,000 years. And now we have only one half rate of cesium and strontium, 30 years. So this is a long-term problem, and so we're looking for long-term solutions in this. And actually, by 2011, many people say that this page closed of Chernobyl. But then we realized that in Fukushima, you see the magnitude of events almost the same. So we are not guaranteed from future, unfortunately. This is just statistics. As more glasses you have on a table and use, there will be stable percent of how many glasses will be broken. Just statistics. If you have 2,000 power plants, then you have statistically 0% of potential disaster or whatever. So that's my second message, that we should think about this, because to manage this territory after the disaster will be much more expensive than just calculating a regular cost effective for nuclear power plants. And that's what science gave us. This is the doses for firefighters, exposure doses from different radionuclides. And you see that the very big doses in microsieverts per hour. So if there, for example, last fire burned 10 days. 10 days, some firefighters spent there, 40, 50 hours. And so this per hour they get the dose like this. So this is really expensive. And there was an experiment of Ukrainian Institute of Agriculture Radiology to get these models. And then fire management. It's regular there. No special equipment. This very regular tools. In every forest you will see the same tools. They have no protection. And this is a Johan.
You mean radiation protection?
All kind of protection, yes, including, first of all, radiation. You could not protect yourself from radiation. Just you could exclude yourself from radiation, but not how can you protect. It's gamma rate. It's just so. So this is a science tell us that this is a dangerous for people inside the exclusion zone, outside the exclusion zone. This is dangerous for region, for countries. And then what we do next is just looking for partners who can help, of course, because government could not help. So we start to work with the Global Fire Monitoring Center. And actually, this is a short overview. 5? It's excellent. Thank you. And this started to look on a global network, and we are now part of this network here in Eastern Europe. And we are working not only with Chernobyl, but more or less with these countries. And of course, during fire in 2015, the smoke comes to Belarus, to Russia, to Poland, to other countries. So it's in the scope of our activity, our center, Eastern European Fire Monitoring Center. And this was the first, actually, our conference in terms of awareness. There was a 2007. You can see the Vice Prime Minister of Ukrainian government. We are invited him and trying to send a strong message, and this person from Council of Europe and other trying to send a strong message. Now the situation is dangerous. You need to do something, government. 2007, this is a conference continue in Chernobyl, talking with the people there. And next year, we are starting to learn how we can, what can be done there in Chernobyl, including I visited this training in Freiburg, and showing that we can control somehow the burning on an early stage, not on catastrophic stage, but preventing some fires. And this is a training in Ukraine, because we bring this knowledge from global network to Ukraine and teach people there that you should work with fuel, you should work with the ecosystem, you should work with your skills. And we actually applied and translated, this is a Ukrainian, the Eurofire standard, which is bring basics of safety, basics of strategic and tactics, and how to work with the small fires. So this was part of solution for Chernobyl. And then, of course, we look for protection of firefighters, for changing strategy, because this is now the better to use smaller truck, more faster, more mobile than bigger truck, large trucks which they use in Chernobyl. And the firefighters, they should be equipped with all these instruments, and they should be able to work with that. And so we are now doing training, and now we're working on equipment to provide them this safety. This example from Libya area in Montana. The area contaminated heavily with asbestos. So very similar situation. Actually, Chernobyl is not unique. We have many sites contaminated with heavy metals, with the radionuclides, with the chemicals, with asbestos. And the firefighters there use the special equipment, the active, so-called active filter, which is not allowed to come radionuclides to the lungs. And this also, next week, actually, the person from Nikia Hernandez will bring to Chernobyl 2 examples of this, just to see, is it possible and relevant to use it there in Chernobyl. And what else? Technology. Now we are working on quite a project on $350,000.
5 minutes are over.
Okay, I need 30 seconds to cover whole territory, 260,000 area with a kind of detection system to detect fires in the early stages. And the last thing that we are working with government, international organization to get this money, knowledge, and information, and to implement it in Chernobyl people. So the main conclusion that we, during these 12 years, we get some funding. It's ready to be put in the exclusion zone. We are developing policy strategy, and there's some technologies for them and computer tools. So in the end, I hope in a couple of years we can say that now the zone will be safe. Okay, thank you very much.